What's up, everybody? It's JB coming back at you with another Mini-Z video. So as you can see, I got the new Kyosho Audi R8 Autoscale body, and if you've watched my videos at all, you probably see a theme is most of the bodies I run are the Audi R8s. So you know I had to get this body when it came out. I just got the package from Japan. I want to crack it open, share a little bit of the differences with you guys between this Audi R8 and the previous versions of the Audi R8, and I can't wait to get this thing cracked open, so let's get going. Alright, so we got the new Audi R8 Autoscale body from Kyosho. We got it opened up. It's a really detailed body. I really like the styling on it. There's a few things I'm not quite sure about yet, but I mean, there's no denying that this is a good looking Autoscale, and one of the nicer ones they've come out with here in recent years. I really like the styling on this thing. The only thing I'm not quite sure about is the offsets that you can run, because the body's a little narrower than previous versions. The offset that it's saying you should run is 1.5 in the front and 1.5 in the rear. That's opposed to normally I run a 3 offset in the rear and a 2 or a 2.5 in the front, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I think you can probably fit a little bit wider on there. I just tried it with my mod car, and where I've got 2s on the front and 3s on the rear. The rear is probably a little too wide, so it probably needs 2s on the front or the rear, and then you might be able to get away with the 2s on the front if you do a little bit of shaving inside the body, but overall it's not a bad fit. Maybe I'll run this on my stock car or something like that where there's not as much speed involved. So anyway, I'm going to go into a little bit of how the two differ, but overall really like it. Nice job, Kyosho. So let's get to looking at some of the differences. I'm trying to do the best I can with keeping this straight, just to show you there's a little more flare on the older bodies. You can see this wheel well is a little more open, and it flares out a little bit more than it does on the new one. So that's allowing you to run a little bit wider in the front on the older body. Let's see on this side too. That flares it flares out a little bit more. And then also on the inside, you can see here there's a lip right here. So if you shave that lip down, so you see there's not any lip in here, you might be able to get away with running a little bit wider in the front if you do shave that down for folks who are going to run this body and race this body. So you might be able to give that a shot. You can also see it's got the air dams. I don't know how these are going to do with the RCP track. I still hit corners and sides, so what I do is I usually shave that air dam off just to get it where it comes off the RCP track bumpers. It comes off of there and doesn't kick you sideways or kick you around. So we'll see how that does. I'm not going to shave them off yet. They look fantastic. They look really good, so I'm going to leave them on there for as long as I can, but that shows you a little bit about the front and what the differences are. So on the rear, it's you got about the same thing. You got a little more flare out here than you do on the new one, that I think gives you that extra little bit of clearance to be able to run those 3s, because when I had the 3s on there, and I'll show you here in a second, but the tire just barely sticks out right here, so you might be able to run 2.5s in the rear. Let's throw it on my mod car, and then we'll throw it on my stock car and see how it looks. Alright, so I've got my mod car here. It's the PN chassis, all the PN goodies. So we'll throw it on the old R8 body. And again, this is using the nose clip for the old ones. I don't know if the nose clip's going to be the same or if it's going to be different. But you can see it sucks up pretty tight to the rear, so you can kind of see the gap back here. It's always one thing I didn't like about them, is that there's a little bit of a gap right here. But with the mod car, if you once you put it down, it sucks right up to the rear. So, alright, now let's switch it over to the new body. And again, the mod car currently has a set of GL 2s on the front and 3s on the rear. So let's throw this one in here, see how it looks. So the first thing I notice when I throw it on here is the amount of gap that's back here in the rear well. Now that's going to suck up a little bit when I drop it down, but you can see these are 3s, 3 offset. You can see they're about ready to, they're going to hit, right? So you could probably run them, but they're kind of hanging outside of the body. In the front, you can see that little, as I turn this wheel, you can see it catches right there on this. So I believe you could probably shave that down. I don't want to start shaving it yet, but that's where it hits, is right there. If you don't hit right there, it turns pretty freely inside of there. You might be able to run a wider, you might be able to run that 2 in the front if you shave that guy down. So I don't see any other purpose for it other than strength, but I always put a little shoe goo in these things anyway, just to keep them from getting tore up. So so that might not be as big a deal. So that's what it looks like on the mod car, on the PN chassis. So now you can see I got my stock car out here. It's the MR03 VE Pro chassis with an MM2 motor mount on the back of it. So first we'll throw it in the old Audi R8 body, show you what that looks like. You can see the gap in the rear wheel wells is quite a bit on this one still. It's a little more than the PN Racing chassis, but it sucks up pretty good, and you got plenty of room for moving around in there. So that's what this one looks like, the old one. So now I put on the MR03 VE Pro body that I run for my stock car, and you can see definitely got a gap in the rear. And with the, I put on the body clip that it came with, and with no spacer up here to kind of lower it down, you can see that's the gap you get in the, and I'm getting in the front as well. It's not a bad fit though, and I'm not really getting any rub. I'm getting a little bit of rub on the outside over there. Overall, nice body. Definitely going to run it. Probably going to run it on my stock car and give it a try. But yeah, the only downside I would say is that you got to run narrower offsets on your wheels. So, but yeah, that's the new Audi R8 Autoscale body from Kyosho. So beautiful body. I mean, it looks fantastic. I really can't wait to give it a try and run it. Hopefully that'll be sooner than later. Anyway, appreciate it guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Thanks.